Reacher Season 3 fully admits its new villain is a cut above Season 1 and 2's enemies. Reacher Season 3 has taken its time to reveal how far its main villain is willing to go, but has finally admitted that he is easily a cut above Seasons 1 and 2's main antagonists. Based on Lee Child's 7th Jack Reacher book, Persuader, Reacher Season 3 significantly changes the series' storytelling style. Instead of treading the same path as its predecessors and showing how Reacher takes a no-holds-barred approach towards his enemies, Season 3 portrays him in an undercover mission where he struggles to keep his identity shrouded. Owing to this new approach, Jack Reacher works from the shadows instead of ruthlessly heading towards his enemies and killing them. He tries his best to ensure that his cover is not blown, and even when it finally blows, he flees the scene instead of sticking around to fight. These moments alone establish how the stakes for Alan Ritchson's Jack Reacher have significantly increased. However, with one scene, the season further admits that its main antagonist is far more dangerous than Reacher's previous enemies. Even Reacher itself knows Xavier Quinn is a way bigger threat than Season 1 or 2's villains. In previous seasons, Jack Reacher seemingly cared little about strategizing to fight his enemies. Even when he was outnumbered and outgunned by the villains, he showed no fear and was willing to rely on his sheer physicality and quick thinking to take them down. His approach towards solving crimes and punishing the antagonists was far more direct, where his brute strength was often enough to get him through any situation. While he still uses his fists to solve many problems in Season 3, he seems a lot less reckless and far more tactical than before. This is because he realizes Xavier Quinn is unlike any other villains he has previously crossed paths with. Unlike Season 1's Kilner and Season 2's Langston, Reacher Season 3's Xavier Quinn is a cold-hearted villain who does not think twice before hurting anyone standing in his way, and Reacher knows this. He understands that one wrong move from his end could lead to the loss of many innocent lives, which forces him to hold himself back. Neagley, too, explicitly compares Quinn with the previous villains they have encountered and admits he is far more dangerous. Many viewers have previously complained about how Reacher Season 2's villains felt underwhelming because they pose little to no threat to the titular character until the season's final moments. However, it seems unlikely that audiences will have the same issues with Xavier Quinn. Season 3 has effectively established him as a formidable antagonist who has other terrifying figures like Polly on his side. This puts immense pressure on Reacher Season 4 to deliver a villain who can somehow match Xavier Quinn or even surpass him in terms of menace and brutality. Lee Child's Jack Reacher books, like Worth Dying For, The Hard Way, and Gone Tomorrow, feature some well-written and intimidating antagonists. While only time will tell which book Reacher Season 4 will adapt, the Amazon Prime Video detective series will have to carefully make the next book choice to ensure the Season 4 villain does not feel like a step down from Xavier Quinn. Lee Child's Jack Reacher books, like Worth Dying For, The Hard Way, and Gone Tomorrow, feature some well-written and intimidating antagonists. This makes them worthy choices for adapting into the next season. However, other factors like casting choices and story beats surrounding the villain will also determine whether Reacher Season 4's villain will be better than Xavier Quinn. Amazon Prime's Reacher has never been short on muscle, grit, or menacing bad guys. Whether it was the corrupt town of Margrave in Season 1 or the far-reaching arms of a military conspiracy in Season 2, each installment has thrown Jack Reacher into the lion's den with formidable enemies. But Season 3 raises the stakes, and for the first time, the show openly admits something that fans may have suspected from the start. This season's villain is in a league of their own. Based on Lee Child's Persuader, the third season of Reacher introduces a new antagonist who doesn't just present a threat, he embodies it. The enemy this time isn't just powerful or cruel. He's brilliant, unpredictable, and dangerously personal. Reacher has always been a near-invincible force of justice, but Season 3 smartly flips the script by pitting him against someone who can match his intellect, outmaneuver him emotionally, and even make him question his own methods. The villain Reacher can't shake off. In the original novel Persuader, the main villain is Zachary Beck, a seemingly legitimate businessman with ties to a powerful drug cartel and a criminal past that's as shadowy as it is dangerous. In Season 3, Beck, portrayed with icy calm and controlled menace by a newly cast A-lister, is transformed into a multidimensional adversary, one who's not just hiding illegal activities, but weaving them into a web of loyalty, manipulation, and twisted honor. The show makes a clear effort to contrast Beck with the likes of Kleiner Sr. from Season 1 and Shane Langston from Season 2. Kleiner was brutal, sure, but ultimately a puppet master of a small-town operation. Langston was a traitor with muscle, but his motivations were rooted in corruption and greed. Beck, by contrast, is ideological. He believes in what he's doing. He sees himself as a protector of his son, a keeper of order in a disordered world, and that belief makes him far more dangerous. A psychological game, where earlier seasons leaned heavily into Reacher's physicality, busting down doors, breaking bones, and solving problems with fists, Season 3 takes a cerebral turn. Reacher goes undercover to get close to Beck, which means weeks of pretending, maneuvering, and reading his enemy before making a move. That slow burn is a deliberate narrative shift. Instead of charging into danger, Reacher has to immerse himself in it. This undercover element allows the show to explore something fresh. What happens when Reacher is not in control? What happens when he has to lie, stay silent, and play by someone else's rules? It's a move that showcases Alan Ritchson's range like never before. His Reacher is still massive and intimidating, but this time he's haunted too, pushed to emotional and moral limits that Kleiner and Langston never really touched. The show knows this villain is different. What makes the elevation of this villain even more compelling is that Reacher Season 3 doesn't hide it. From the writing to the direction, the show repeatedly reinforces that Beck is not just another obstacle, he's the obstacle. Reacher's allies even say it out loud. This guy is different. He's not going to fall to brute force alone. There's a slow, deliberate dread that builds over the season because everyone understands that Beck is thinking several moves ahead. The show also gives Beck a tragic backstory, not to excuse his crimes, but to deepen his character. He's not evil for evil's sake. He's trying to protect his son, manage a criminal empire, and stay one step ahead of law enforcement. It's hard not to admire his composure, his methodical planning, and his surprising moments of humanity. In many ways, he's the mirror image of Reacher, another man shaped by violence, but who chose a very different path. Raising the bar. By making this villain so capable, Reacher Season 3 inadvertently raises the bar for the series moving forward. It's no longer enough to have corrupt cops or greedy businessmen. The show has tasted what it's like to go toe-to-toe with a mastermind, and fans are hooked. This isn't just a season about beating the bad guy. It's about understanding him, outsmarting him, and questioning how far Reacher is willing to go to win. It's also a clear sign of growth for the series. The first 2 seasons were fun, brutal, and packed with justice-fueled action. But Season 3 adds a new layer, psychological warfare. By doing so, it doesn't just make Beck the best villain the show has seen, it makes Reacher a smarter, bolder, and more mature series. Final thoughts. Season 3 of Reacher doesn't just introduce a great villain, it fully admits that this is the best adversary Jack has ever faced. Through thoughtful writing,